Hey there, folks. Welcome to the Gauntlet Reading Club's run of Once More Into the Void, inspired by Cassandra Khaw's The All-Consuming World. Before starting in on things, I want to do a round of introductions for folks watching. If you give your name, your pronouns, and who you're playing, that would be great. We'll start with me and go clockwise around the stream. I think we all see the same thing when I'm recording, hopefully. I'm Steven, he, him. I am, for once, not the GM of this run. I'm just the facilitator for this run because there is no GM in Once More Into the Void. We are all playing protagonists. How exciting. You can find me at Steven Alligator, where you'll mostly just find more of this. So you're already here, you're already watching it. I don't know why you'd go there, but go ahead. Yeah, and if you could take it from here, Maria.
Hello, I'm Maria. I use she, her pronouns. I am on Twitter at Yay for Books, where it's also Yay for like other things, including cat pictures and actual books and also games. I don't know who I'm playing yet. I will find out very shortly. I hope I wasn't supposed to know before this. I will find out very soon if that is the case.
That leaves me. Hi, my name's Leandro. Use he, him pronouns. Am I on Twitter or the internet? Not sure at this point. I think I'm on Twitter. Can't quite recall. So in lieu of shouting myself out, I'll shout out another thing. I'll shout out the current Apocalypse Keys Kickstarter is going on at the moment, which if you're watching this video, might still be ongoing. Who's to say? It's pertinent to shout out because it's another work by Nedjadi, because we're going to be playing one of their games, and the Apocalypse is great. And basically, it's like Hellboy powered by the Apocalypse. It's all sad monsters trying to hold back the apocalypse in their hearts. What's not to love, you know?
Yeah, we'll see if I get this one out fast enough for that plug to actually
Even if it's not out, you should get it after
Yes.
it's kickstarted because it's fantastic.
Yes. But yeah, this game is hosted by The Gauntlet. The Gauntlet, for folks who don't know, is an online game community mostly focusing on role-playing games of the indie and OSR varieties. Besides publishing a zine called The Codex, as well as several gaming podcasts, it also hosts a gaming calendar, which this and many other games are run through every month. It's open to non-members, so feel free to jump on through to the link below if you're interested in playing with any of the people here today or any of the other fine people on the Gauntlet. As always, we are using an open door policy. If at any point there is an emergency, you have personal needs, you're comfortable at the table, feel free to step away as long as you need. We are all here to have fun, and your own needs take precedence. If you could let us know if and when you're able to return, that would be helpful to the rest of us in terms of framing scenes, but it's certainly not mandatory. Sometimes emergencies happen and you're just pulled away immediately. Besides the open door, we're also making use of several safety tools. We already did lines and veils before we started. That's a living document we put together before play and check back in on every session that basically draws attention to certain topics we want to be careful about, or in the case of Maria, aggressively homoerotic tableaus, which we definitely want to see in here. We are also making use of the X card. The X card for folks who, the X card is a tool for if we encounter something that makes us uncomfortable at the table. We can make an X sign with our arms. We can say X card in chat. We can say it aloud. We can, in that other game, like, I'd want to say I know who it is, but we have both David Morrison, and Ben Bisogno. So it's like any three of them could have written that in. But yeah, if something happens at the table that makes you uncomfortable, you can make an X sign in some way, and we'll probably ask what's being X carded, but we'll remove it from the fiction. And finally, we're also making use of script change, which is a set of terms we all can use to help us talk about the fiction and our safety within it. I won't get into too much detail about those terms because we have all played together a lot here and we're all very familiar with it at this point. But yes, so jumping into things with the whole opening spiel done, I wanted to check in. Actually, let me double check my PDF because I was going to ask who wants to be the captain, but I'm forgetting if we actually detail the enemy first. No, we choose a character to play. So I guess the question I want to throw out then is who here wants to be the captain? Because if nobody is interested in it, I'm fine taking up the captain as someone that facilitates it a lot. I often play it, but I'm also cool with other people doing it. The captain, if you're interested in being the one that everyone is a little bit disappointed by, disappointed in, I should say, also disappointed by, like being the captain is the way to go because you're the one that walked away and now needs to pull everyone together. In the very first few mini games, you'll get more screen time than the rest of us, but after we get out of that recruitment montage, you're not necessarily the center of the story anymore. You're still very important though. You're still important as a character though.
Yeah, the one time I played Once More Into the Void, I did play the captain, and one of the characters was so disappointed by them that after the remission, they killed the captain. So
Lovely.
I'm familiar with that.
I have played the captain before. I don't have strong feelings either way. If you'd like to play the captain, even if you want to play something else, and
I'd like to play something
yeah,
else,
yeah.
but
Yeah, figure
Yeah.
feel free if you really have your heart set on something else, Maria.
No, I have, like I said, no the early plans. Leandro, do you want to be captain or should I be captain?
I'll be captain.
All right,
There we
you'll be
go. I'll make a
captain.
decision for everyone.
Thank
I'll be
you. Look,
captain.
Yep.
such captaincy.
Already leaning into the
Thank-
position,
All right, now
Leandro.
disappoint us.
Oh man, I mean, if we're looking at the themes of what we're pulling in from the book we read, yeah, I'm gonna be extremely disappointing.
There, took care of it for you. But yeah. So after we so with the captain decided on, we have see, yes, this one has, we have 7 other playbooks to choose from. There is the veteran. Play the veteran if you want the sadness and joy that comes with it, and you are ready to play out a story of the long journey of giving yourself another chance and healing your damaged relationships. I don't think I'll actually read through these all. I'll ask Maria, did you have an eye towards one?
Give me a quick second to reacquaint myself with them.
Yeah.
If you know which ones you want to play.
I don't yet.
Okay.
I'm willing to. How about this? We will go through and read them, but I will not take up reading all of them. Would you
All
like
right.
to go down to page 9, which is the Reformed, and read for us
Yeah.
the Reformed's intro?
All right, so the Reformed. Play the Reformed if you want the mystery and prejudice that comes with it, and you're ready to play out a story of the long journey of killing your past and healing your justified anger.
Yeah, Leandro, do you want to read for us the Believer on page 12, their intro?
Oh, Leandro has
Give me a
BRB.
sec, sorry, please.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah, did you want to read us the Believer on page 12, their intro?
Yeah. Hold on. play the believer if you want the faith and tension that comes with it, and you're ready to play the story of the long journey of building your own identity and healing your desire to be saved.
Cool. And the next we have is the broken. Play the broken if you want the pain and desperation that comes with it, and you are ready to play out a story of the long journey of facing your trauma and healing your self-hatred and disappointment. Maria, did you want to take a look at the strange?
Yeah. Play the strange if you want the creativity and miracles that comes with it, and you are ready to play out a story of the long journey of defining what it means to be human and healing your self-doubt.
Yeah, and Leandro, did you want to take a look at the bound?
Yeah, so play the bound if you want the challenge and doubt that comes with it, and you're ready to play out a story of the long journey of rediscovering your faith and healing the fear you have of yourself.
Cool. Yeah, and then I think the last one we have is the steadfast. Play the steadfast if you want the resentment and love that comes with it, and you are ready to play out a story of the long journey of finding your own path and healing your desire to prove your worth.
These are also good. Again, how do I pick?
I have a so we kind of discussed last time about how much we wanted to draw on the kind of narrative structure of the book, and whether we were cool with also like bringing in like members of this crew of criminals that like are not necessarily clones. Because I am just thinking now of like whether it'd be cool to play. Let's see, what are the two? There's the Profound, and I think there's also yeah, the believer is more a teacher. I have the idea of being abound, because we kind of talked about the weird AI religions, about whether I'm a member. Oh, I forget what that weird sect was that kind of has this like weird like remix of all these different religious iconographies.
Is it the penitents or
Yeah, they're the penitents, and they're also like that big like temple AI self that has all those like sub-selves.
oh, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I can look for this book and not find it.
Yeah. I have the idea of being one of those AI, if that's cool with folks.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Hmm. I'm
feel like-
thinking, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I guess I was thinking of being like someone who isn't a clone, but possibly someone who has cloned themselves, is like has like I don't remember if this book like talked about the origins of the clones. It's been now like 2 weeks since I read it, and
I
apparently my brain
remember
is a
they
save.
I remember they kind of talk about how like the AI specifically tried to destroy the knowledge of cloning at some point, but like
Ooh,
humans still
okay.
cobbled it together and like
Yeah.
basically used and basically decided like we have this really shitty cloning technology. Let's use it to make like workers.
Yeah. Great. I think like in this fanfic, I'm kind of interested in like being someone who is trying to find that secret of like what makes how what like the process of making a clone or like the original history, or maybe
Interesting.
someone who knows it and is putting it into practice, or maybe I have to pick which of these playbooks now.
I was gonna say that could fit, like, that's a backstory that can fit most playbooks. You still have to pick one.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends on like what you kind of see it as. Like if this is like a almost idealist calling, it might be the believer.
Believer, yeah. Let's see. Scrolling up, scrolling up. Yeah. Hmm.
I guess it depends what you want, what you think you want this character like. How did that story end when like the captain walked away, maybe? Because that would certainly decide like maybe how it looks. Because I can also see like the broken or even the uh the reformed, maybe if you had your ties to one of these corporations that produce these clones for pay.
Yeah. I think I was looking at the reformed latest. So I will go with the reformed, I think, and figure things out from there. Like I was thinking about having a tie to the people that sell you the stuff to make it so you can come out of a vat of goo when you've been killed most recently, or something like that.
Great.
The tragic thing about there being 3 people is that that does not narrow down the playbooks as much.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I love the
Yeah.
reformed.
Okay. So now, usually we'd be spending nearly all of this first session making characters, but fortunately, there are like 3 or 6 things for each of us to pick. So let's actually open. There's like all of our character creation is a little bit collaborative. So let's open on you, Leandro, as our captain. Here, I can also copy this in. This is on page 5 of the PDF, but I'll also copy it in for both of us. I could think we'll say left is,
Up
I
and
guess,
down on the
yeah,
Google Doc.
I'd say like right is clockwise, left is counterclockwise, maybe. Or yeah, up and down on the Google Doc. That also works. So like left is up, right is
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would basically mean that for this, for example, Leandro, you would pick 2 qualities off of this list to describe your captain. And after you pick your 2, Maria's going to get to pick 1 additional one for you.
I think that's a lot of good options. Then we're gonna pick mysterious. And I mean, I know I um I know I talked about the concerns of the captain figure of the book we're playing, but I do kind of want to still lean in that direction. So fuck it, let's pick intoxicating or not.
Yes.
Seriously, I'm intoxicating. There we go.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
Maria, you get to pick one from that list.
Such a good list. Oh, okay, pick one. Hmm. I'm gonna go with weekend.
Ooh, that's interesting.
I don't know what that means, but
It's up to Leandro to
yeah,
interpret that.
I'm excited to see
I
how that
mean,
is
is
interpreted.
this even a thing? Like, if you are a clone, they talk a little bit about how cloning degrades
Mhm.
over time.
Yeah, and that was one of the big twists of the book
Yeah,
was how
yeah.
weakened the captain figure was.
Yeah,
How the cloning has really
Mm-hmm.
run dry.
I don't want to force that on you, but do you think you are a clone?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's get into your looks then, and that will help us flesh out your character a bit more. I'll copy it in here, even though I'll copy it in here.
Mhm.
It's again, just like before, you'll get to pick two, but I'll get to pick the third one this time.
Okay. I think I want to go with fashion of a bygone era. I want to look antiquated, as if I've been around for a while. And I think, ooh, you just have a plainted look. What's up with that? Um, um, a soothing tone.
I also think you have, and you can. I mean, it fits with the antiquated look. A cane you pretend is just for show.
Yeah, I just happen to have a cane because it's a fashion statement. Because I'm
Yeah,
evil.
and you're mysterious,
Mhm.
obviously.
Yeah.
Mysterious people have to have like a fashion accessory.
Yeah, and we'll go, I guess, we'll go up the character keeper order, just to keep things simple. So Maria, for your reformed, let me go down to the reformed here and we
Yeah.
will copy it in. So as with the captain. Oh yes, I also missed this. I forgot. It says for the captain, it says give yourself a name that commands power and respect. Just so
Oh,
you know, Leandro.
okay. All right, I'll have to think about that. Give me a second.
But
I don't have to think
yes.
of it now. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, I will continue on to Maria. So this is on, if either of you want to look, it's on page 9 of the PDF, but I'll also copy it into here. So you get to pick 2, Maria, and I'll
Mhm.
pick one.
I will pick um I like Moody and Paranoid.
You're all so beautiful though.
Yes. And I am not yearning. I did not even see that was on this list when I picked this sheet.
Gotta branch out.
Like I gotta branch out. I can't be yearning. I specifically didn't choose yearning. So there will be 0 yearning. This is my 0 yearning run.
I'm sure. I'm
Uh-huh.
sure.
Uh-huh.
So I'll also just read this for you here. Maria,
Ugh.
give yourself a name that suggests mystery and complexity.
I will have to think about that.
Yeah.
Names are hard. Um
I'll copy that in here to the chat.
Cool.
And as with our captain, you're also going to get to pick 2 looks. And you are picking 2 here, Maria, and Leandro is picking the 3rd.
Ooh, okay. I think I am going to have a 1,000-yard stare. And I think a scar that commands attention that does not mar my beauty.
I mean,
You know
or
how
it's exactly part of it.
exactly.
think let's give you a weapon that doesn't work as intended.
Interesting.
But that doesn't mean that it doesn't work. It just doesn't work as
Yeah.
intended.
Cool. So yeah, and that brings us up to the bound. Let me go down here. This is on page 21, but I'll, as always, copy this in here. And this time I am picking 2, and Leandro, you get to pick 1 for my bound. So let's see here. What am I going to go with? I think I am ethereal and sorrowful.
Damn, I was gonna pick ethereal. Ethereal, sorrowful, but defiant.
Oh, great. That was the one I was also thinking of. So wonderful.
Yeah.
Great. And I will just read this off for the challenge I have to come up with, is that I need to give myself a name to suggest faith and promise. And then I will also need to come up with 2 aspects. I will also need to come up with some aspects of my look. I'm going to pick 2, and Maria, you're going to pick 1. So what can I have here? I think I have a psychic wound that bleeds emotions. I think evidence of the power I barely have under control.
I think a rigid posture from years of training.
Yeah, and it's super interesting to think of what a rigid posture from years of training is for an AI. Let's see, rigid posture. Psychic scar. Motion. And right. Cool. So we can also take some time to think of our names. But while we're doing that, I think the last thing we'll do before we kind of take our first break of the evening is we also want to sketch out our enemy a little bit. And the enemy is the sort of driving force that is pulling all of our characters back together again. It's why the captain is going out to save, just well, in this case, to pull off one last score, but probably a score that will also involve saving the galaxy in some way. But first off, I mean, this one, the first of who is the enemy is maybe one that we kind of answer from the book, but I'll also just post in here some of the book's examples.
The way that some of these just like fit the all-consumed world perfectly.
Yeah.
All-consuming world.
I was wondering if we wanted to kind of push away from just the obvious thing of like a horde of AI and machines. I'm almost wondering if like the threat in this is less the AI themselves, or maybe like the mimetic virus. But also other ones I'm also cool with. Do you have any thoughts, Maria?
Yeah.
I'm also cool with going up against the AI overlords as well, though.
And like looking at either like the undead repurposed to contain the horror space or remnants of the people ravaged by time and cruelty, like the idea of like some of the people who may have been victims of like conflicts in the past, like echoes of them coming back to
Oh yeah,
like
because we've talked about how they've talked about in the book how there are definitely planets that were just and whole systems that were destroyed by the age ships. Like, are these ghosts somehow these horrible like almost, oh, what's the word, like mixes, like somehow these the survivors like formed like this symbiotic relationships with the weapons that were unleashed upon them or something.
Yeah, kind of like how maybe this weapon was like maybe like a bomb or so was like left on this planet, and the planet died, but it's now kind of undead. And it's an undead planet for like people who are like maybe trapped in this like moment that destroyed it. So I'm imagining I also have Locktoon in the mind. Maybe that's what I think of dead planets. That's not a spoiler.
okay, you can't spoil it.
Okay, all right. So yeah, maybe it's like, yeah, the remnants of people who have kind of like maybe it's a planet that like got scoured but has come back. Not say we have to fight a full planet. It's just an image that popped in my mind. Maybe is I guess it means, does that mean that's a thing that we were involved in, or is it
This
just like
is
an
not
enemy?
necessarily a thing that we are involved in. This is just a thing right now that is threatening the galaxy. And sometimes the game will call on us to bring the enemy into play, and we are going to somehow go up against the enemy in a final mission at the end.
Okay.
Now we might end up revealing things that eventually, like, yeah, we were involved in this or something, but not necessarily just yet.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, ravaged by time and cruelty. Yeah, maybe this bomb is meant to delete this planet, but through just it didn't go off as well and kind of
Yeah,
left
I'm
it
almost
like
imagining that it's like some kind of nano like virus that was meant to just consume the planet and the stars. And instead, all these people somehow were able to like contain this nanovirus in themselves. And now they just need to consume like
yeah.
that to keep to keep this nanovirus at bay.
Like, so are there actually still people there, or are they more like the data geist or whatever was in the book that was sort of like
I
a
kind of imagine them that it's like something almost along the lines of who is like the woman that kind of existed in is as like a kind of data form.
Elise.
Yeah, Elise.
yeah,
I
okay.
imagine them almost a little bit like Elise. They're
Mhm.
sort of like the people they used to be, but they're now like these consciousnesses that exist within these like nanite bodies that need to consume.
Okay. Yeah. That's cool.
Cool.
I'm cool with that. So like they took on the aspect of the weapon that was meant to destroy them.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm cheering for them actually a little bit. But
Destroy them. Okay. And let me jump over, bring up the next comment on the enemy more. Bring up the next question. What does the enemy want? And again, we are leaning towards a couple answers here, but I'll throw up the suggested list. We can always make up our own or blend them together. So you have like claim what is owed to them, continuous cycle of violence and harvest across millennia, Mass Effect, make us pay for what we did, to rebuild a broken galaxy, reset a broken timeline, to make the galaxy a peaceful place for eternity. I almost feel like it's a mix of claim what is owed to them and make us pay for what we did. Do you have any thoughts, Maria, Leandro?
Yeah, I think I'm kind of like on the same mindset, probably close to make us pay because they were wronged, for sure. And maybe they want to like, they got turned into this like weird half-life nanovirus entity. Maybe they want to return the favor. Um, um, Turn everyone else into these nano pockets of information.
so that phrasing makes it sound like we were definitely involved in
I'm wondering, like, if
like
when we say make us pay for what we did, if the make us pay here is that, like, look, you all just stood by as this AI world ship just murdered us all. And that was just like, you decided it was too dangerous to say that's enough. And that's why you need to pay.
yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, if we're meant to be heroes, why didn't we do anything?
I mean, we could. We'll see. We'll see. What,
Yeah. Heroes, yes.
there's still stuff that might be revealed.
Mhm.
Yeah. So does that work for folks?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Cool. Let me just type this in here. So make us pay for standing by and doing nothing while the powerful destroyed them. Okay, and the last question is, what's at stake if we fail? If we fail in this last big job that you have pulled us all together for? And I'll again just kind of pop this in here. Again, we can mix these up and decide how we want, what we want to or create something entirely new. We have things like an all-out galactic war, an apocalypse beyond comprehension. Our bodies and minds will be bound in servitude. I'm leaning towards that one a little bit.
I also saw that one and went, that seems fitting.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Bound to this nano machine.
We become part of it.
Yeah, maybe it's not even necessarily that they plan on affecting us all. Maybe they just want control of the AIs, and then through them they can just control humanity.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, I'll just make a note of that here. Let me bring up my PDF. We're gonna get started in on the actual kind of play of the game. Now, usually we would play out. Oh, actually, let's see. Right, I actually forgot. In an extended play, I believe there is one more thing that we all get to do to kind of further flesh out our characters a little bit. Let me go to that. Yes, character questions. Because our history with the enemy is complex. When playing Once More to the Void at extended speed, the character questions are answered before the recruitment montage. So we'll go through these as in the order I'm reading them here. So our captain, and we'll update. If you could introduce your name, and here's your question. You had a heroic reputation. How did, or we can also like a infamous reputation, since we are the space criminals here. How did the enemy secretly help you gain it?
So, so my character's name is Rosafina Blooming. They, she pronouns. Just a reminder: the qualities are mysterious, intoxicating, and weakened. Their looks are a fraction of a bygone era, soothing tone, a tone. Can you pretend it's just for show? How did the enemy secretly help me gain my heroic reputation? Nano machines, son. They, um, I think like in the time, kind of like right when the enemy had become the big old nanomachine planet, like I think like and I was just like starting off, I had um I think like there's a there's a story of my first adventure. It involved like fighting off and plunging to the depths of this horror nanomachine planet. What really happened is I was just party to negotiations. By negotiations, I mean my I think whatever like crew or party that I was a part of got wiped out, and I was left alive as a meant to be. I was meant to be a warning. I was implanted like with a bit of the nanomachines, and I was told to warn people that they're coming. Instead, I used the nanomachines they gave me to forge my heroic reputation, and made myself better, faster, stronger, all those Daft Punk words, and used it to forge reputation. Very reason why I'm a bit weakened now. Now that they're finally coming. Um, um, and it would be nice if it didn't come out that I had help from them to be who I am.
Ooh. And let's see, continuing down here, where did it go? Here we go. Sorry, I'm just right. We have a reformed. Okay, so we can change this one around because this one makes a few key assumptions about the reform, makes a key assumption about the reform, but doesn't necessarily mesh with what we've discussed for your character so far.
Okay.
Because because in this, it's you were once the enemy. What terrible
Ooh.
secret did you reveal when you betrayed your people? If you want to say that you once somehow worked for the enemy in some regard instead, or like allied with them even in your
Yeah.
quest.
Yeah, so I was thinking that maybe I was once part of like a group of humans who were working to because like cloning technology is something that the AI destroyed or like tried to keep secret or whatever. Like maybe I was part of a group of humans that were basically trying to steal back or accumulate what knowledge we could. And so like that I think involved like experiments and uh like kind of seeing the like the nanomachines or like other just like technological advancements. So maybe uh yeah.
So it sounds like maybe there was some kind of trade or exchange with the enemy.
Yeah. I like maybe they needed something to continue to power themselves. Like they needed something to consume uh in the long time since they were
Hmm.
meant to be destroyed. And oh, let's see, I gotta look at the lines and veils. Would it be okay if this terrible secret is that uh in order to keep the like nano machines able to like replicate or whatever, like the first or failed clones would be sent to that like dead planet as fuel to be consumed?
Oh.
If that is too far, I can think
No,
of something else.
I love that because of course our captain is a clone. So I just love the idea that eventually we're gonna see like we're gonna be attacked by a bunch of nano machine zombies that have the captain's face. Yeah. And for myself, my question is, how is an aspect of your faith tied to who the enemy is? Mm. I almost imagine, because I'm kind of still piecing together how my character relates to that fate, that this is a kind that my own faith is a kind of, and we'll get into more of what my character is like when we do the montages, is almost a heretical, almost, like, not so much heretical because the way the AIs kind of work, I don't know if they would necessarily tolerate direct heresy, but maybe like hesiarchal, where it's like bordering on heresy, where like the destruction of this planet is treated like the original sin of our AI species. Like it is like the sin from which all of our other corruptions stem from.
That sounds really rad.
So is this like a newish religion?
I don't know if I'd necessarily think of it as, well, I guess it's like newish by the age ship standards. I don't know if it's newish by like any of you human standards.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe this destruction of this planet happened a long
Yeah.
time.
Like how
Yeah.
long ago did this planet happen in human terms?
Yeah, I almost imagine that this is like, for humans, this was practically like
Ancient history.
ancient history, that like it was ancient enough that like this was like a big deal when your people like first made contact with them and
okay.
started trading with them. Like, oh,
Yeah.
like these like practically like, you know, dragons showed up. Like we found literal dragons like on this planet. Like I feel like that's almost what it was like for your people, if that works for you.
Yeah, it's almost like the like sacrifice the virgin to the dragon to keep them appeased sort of thing. Only it's like sacrifice a clone to the nano machine death planet.
Great. So yeah, that was actually that wraps up. That was the last kind of thing we do before jumping in to the recruitment montage. So let me jump up here. I don't think the captain has their own thing that they do before to introduce them. Let me just check that. Yeah, the captain doesn't get nothing because you're in everyone else's scene. But let's go down. Let's start this recruitment montage. Now, like most Firebrand's games, for anyone watching, Once More to the Void is structured around a series of mini games. The recruitment montage is kind of a special mini game we're only going to play once and at the very start of play. Mini games are kind of these very prolonged, you might say almost like apocalypse world moves that structure the entire scene. So for your recruitment montage, and this is something that I will not copy all this in because there is a lot of text here, so if people can take a look at the PDF at this point. Your recruitment montage for the Reformed, Maria, is on page 10. So let's open there, kind of following the route. Is it finally time to stop running? The recruitment montage introduces the Reformed into the story and explores what motivates them to return to the crew. Once everyone has had the recruitment montage, begin playing the mini games. So, this takes place while the Reformed is being hunted. Both the captain and Reformed briefly describe the nature of the states of the chase, a sentence or two each. The captain asks, so I guess Uh yeah, I guess first off we'll ask, like, what do we think this chase is like? Like the actual, like, not the why of it, but the actual what the chase looks like. Because some of these questions here look like we'll get to the why.
Yeah. I think like this is literally a chase scene. Through let's see what kind of vibe do we want for this planet or wherever we are. Maybe it's a chase scene through a space station. Kind of like a conglomeration of like human built falling apart ships, maybe. Like maybe we try to keep them as low tech as possible, so that the AI on the ship hopefully don't overtake. Well, I don't know. But what do you have ideas, Leandro?
Sorry, my mind blanked there for a moment. The space station sounds nice.
Yeah.
Was it like a physical chase? Like we're
Yeah, I think
running?
it's a physical chase. I think like I'm imagining kind of like a clunky falling apart. This is like a really dirty space station. Uh Rust everywhere, but very crowded. So I think there's a lot of like darting in and out of just like people uh people's livelihoods. Like the sort of uh like repair shops, like junkyards, that kind of vibe. At least that's what I think I'm running through.
Yeah, we're running through like different sets or different tableaus.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're running to
jumping.
jumping and all that.
Yeah, little parkour, jumping past someone who's like welding something, probably like apologizing for disrupting their very important fixing of a very important thing that will keep things from depressurizing.
Yeah, I think like I think the chase started with you like being chased, and I think
Hmm.
almost like as if a mirage, you're suddenly with your old captain who's also running with you, who's carrying a cane now, but doesn't seem to have too much trouble keeping up. For some reason, because of fashion of a bygone era, I'm imagining Rosafina's fashion to be, what if a dark academia student just discovered romanticism? So that's kind of like their vibe. Um,
Amazing.
very much like that painting of the dude looking at
Yeah,
the waves.
I had a thing of it like very close to me, but it's gone now.
Cool. And yeah, Rosafina, you have a question here that you are meant to ask of our reformed. If you look
Yeah.
at, yeah.
So, tell me, Yel, who are you running away from? And how do I help you find reprieve?
Yeah. I think that if you were to look behind us to see who's chasing us, it would be kind of hard to tell them apart from the rest of the people because uh they look like they're from here. I think these people are like the crew I was with originally before our very first mission. They're the group of people, tinkerers, like mad scientists, the whole lot who were just, I took their secrets away from them because I'm handy and I know a lot of things. Um, but now they're mad that I told other people things. Um, and maybe the way that you help me find reprieve in this chase is, maybe your like sort of dark academia meets romanticism outfit, like maybe there's like a small establishment to the side of like this crowded space station, that like we can blend in enough where you look like you can get in there and like take us out of out of this like open area, like because you're like a little fancily dressed, you can get us in, whereas I'm wearing like overalls, grimy oil, like I have been on the run, a little scraggly. I probably couldn't get in there on my own.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool. And EL, you have a question now that you address back to the captain.
Yeah. So how have my years of running haunted me? How am I still beautiful?
Yeah, so I think if this was like, back in the old days, like there would have been a bit of carelessness to running because just things could be recloned in fashion. So I think like the fact that I've seen years on your face is kind of like the haunting part. I think there's like a fleck of the hair going prematurely, kind of like white, maybe not a fleck, maybe a streak. There we go. That's proper anime. There's like a white streak going up your hair, and I think like your face is like feels harder because the years of getting haunted it. It's more chiseled, I guess.
And there's the scar. That's what makes it feel harder too.
Yeah, that's kind of new. You don't really keep scars. Because we didn't need to. How are you still beautiful? Yeah, I think it's your eyes. Your eyes have stayed the same, even though like they're in that 1,000 yards there. I always thought your eyes could always they seem close to smiling at points, even though I've never seen them in that nature. But they still glimmer, even in the middle of a chase.
That's just the dust. It's getting in my eyes. A little allergy. No.
Great. So now we go to conducting the hunt. So, if you go down to the next page, as the captain, you get to pick the prompt. There are a bunch of prompts down there we'll go through 2 moments during this hunt. Each of you will get to prompt 1, and then the other one will resolve it. So captain, you get to pick one of those bolded bits of text on page 11. Rosafina, I should say.
Captain Blooming to you. Yeah, I think, because we snuck to a party. I think we find ourselves in an old hideout. It's if time had never passed. I think into like this like club party area, there's a room that we always kind of like book. I guess we have a long-standing booking with the owner, the space station, and I think like maybe you're surprised that booking still stands, even though it's been so long. And I think like I just guide you to there. It's a small like karaoke bar of a room, because this is a hideout that I specifically said is our de-stress hideout. We're here to enjoy each other's company, and we're gonna do it. And it's all about just like who gets to. Someone has to do karaoke first, and that's all.
Well, yeah, we're gonna see what EL responds with, because EL gets 3 options here for how this moment resolves.
Yeah. So is it like a karaoke room that we run into, or like a booth, or?
I think
I
it's a
think it's
room.
like one of those
a
private
room.
rooms.
Okay,
Yeah,
It's a private room.
is what I was hearing.
Um, I think I'm going to pick. And the memories overwhelm us, and we give in to our passions.
You don't have to say anything.
Oh, what does this look like?
Okay, so in my head, this is like one of those when you're running away from someone, you pull them into a room. Like there's always the like sort of like pressed against each other, like against the wall part of escaping from people. And like maybe those eyes that you think are still beautiful, like for a second flick out of their 1,000-yard stare, maybe, and like meet with Captain Blooming's. Does that work?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I see the flicker, and I think like I kind of give you this like soft, that kind of like impish kind of smile, because I haven't changed um at all. And I think like I'll just take that moment uh, and dive in while people are running past
Mm-hmm.
our private room.
Mm-hmm.
There's a smooch, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you pick the overwhelm part.
Yeah.
Give overwhelm was given to our passion. I think a smooch is at least a minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As we fade back in, EL, you get to pick a different bolded prompt, and Rosafina will be the one to resolve it.
All right, so this makes sense to follow that, I think. Our hunters have found us again, and they crashed through violently.
Yeah, I think after like that moment, ooh, I think I trust you to handle things efficiently. Um, I think, like you always have, you've always been good at this. Um, I think after yeah, our hunter's gonna like, crash in before we make out. I think as they like burst in, I kind of like give the hunters like a sidelong glance, and I think like I kind of give you this like look you've seen before, the you're gonna take care of this, right? Kind of look, and kind of like let you take the floor, so to speak.
Yeah.
So is this the first option?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, I should say yes.
Okay.
I trust you to handle things efficiently, like you always have.
Yeah. I think it's like the thing where maybe they're still like in close proximity to each other, and like EL kind of like will kind of like push uh Rosafina down so that like they can get out their weapon that doesn't work as expected, which I have yet to figure out exactly what that is. uh oh, I think it looks like they're pulling out a well, maybe they don't pull out that weapon that doesn't work as intended. Maybe that's a different weapon. But I think they pull out like a stun gun or something, an actual gun, and will kind of like shoot over the captain's head.
Cool. And so as we wrap up the hunt, go back up to page 10 here, Rosafina, because you have one more question to ask of the Reformed.
Yeah, I think as I'm watching you, take care of action. This stun gun though, that needs to be looked at. What will make you betray me?
Oh, sorry. God, I thought that was a rhetorical question that you were
No,
asking
no,
yourself for a second.
that is literally a thing that is part of the game that
I'm working on
you'll
my
need to answer here.
1,000-yard
Yeah.
stare. Um, hmm. I think. Oh, what will make me betray you? Hmm. I think that if you like that if you show doubt in the mission, if you make it seem like you might run away again, then I will think that you have never changed. And why should I stick around for round 2 of our past? And I will try to leave before you can betray me again. Like, I will try to betray you first.
Cool. And EL, you get to give your own question to the captain.
Yeah. What makes you trust me anyway?
Because you did as you're told. I didn't even have to say anything. Yeah, I don't need to explain that, do I? I can keep going.
Cool. Yeah, so I think, oh yeah, then
Part
to wrap this
time.
up. Oh, go ahead.
I was in part time.
Yeah, so there is if you're in the dock, there's the link to the playing card table there. So let's see, does it say who draws it this time?
Both draw.
Yeah, we both draw.
Yeah, both of
Face
them
up.
draw a card face up.
All right.
Ooh.
Okay. So I drew the 10 that is a black card. It says loyalty is regained and I get to keep this.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
there we
yeah.
go. I just need to refresh mine.
Oh,
Yeah, you get to keep it. So, but it also says let's go through yours first. Since you read it out. Describe why you want to believe in the captain. I know this just makes you answer all the hard questions.
I think, yeah, I think it's because while they as a clone are unchanging in like their physical nature, I think that like an aspect of the way you carry yourself, or like even this new dark academia X romanticism outfit that you have on, like something about that is different from what you had in the past, like just like the small details of now you're carrying a cane, like that indicates to me that there is something that's not stagnant, that you are moving forward in the world despite being basically the same as when I last saw you. So I choose to believe in you because maybe you are growing.
Yeah, we'll see. As for my draw, I drew the 7 of hearts, so it's a red. Oops. The enemy grows stronger. The player describes a brief glimpse of the enemy and how they become more terrifying. The card is then placed face down on the enemy's pile of cards. Ooh, this is new from last time I played this. Okay, I think.
Yeah, I think this is how it balances like having different numbers of players at the table.
I'm down for it. Yeah, so I think we get a glimpse of, I think we just kind of get a abrupt cut, if this was like a movie or TV show, this is a visual medium, of the planet, deep in like deep kind of like space. It's like a space so far away from like stars that it is like um empty. It is a void, one would say. A void that we must go into once more, one might say. And I think like the planet is this like sphere that is, I think, stands out in a void because it's covered in this kind of like whitish static fog. Um and I think like you can kind of see it like slowly moving into the void, through the void. And I think like as it is kind of like moving, you can see its dimensions are slowly changing, as if like it's widening in the sides, as if like it's becoming less of a sphere and more of a plane, I guess. Like a, and I think that's the main thing you see is like this planet is learning to change shape. That's what we have to deal with, I guess.
Great. So yeah, that is our reformed introduced. So now it's coming to my scene here. So let's jump down to the bound, recruiting the bound. Where do we stand between faith and duty? This recruitment montage introduces the bound into the story and explores what motivates them to return to the crew. This takes place while the bound is performing a sacred ritual. Both the captain and the bound briefly describe the sacred space, a sentence or two each. So I had an immediate thought here when I was reading the bound, and this is my thought, that this sacred space is the actual corpse of an age ship. Like, it is an age ship that has been rent asunder. And I think that this is actually like Mother Rent's original body was this age ship.
Yeah. I think if it's okay, the way the age ship has been like rent apart, it's in a way that you can tell the AI, an AI did it because it's all in a pattern. It's not blown apart by like random violence, but like it's in a shape. I think the age ship has been blown apart in the shape of a flower. And this ritual is being conducted in like where the pistil is of the flower, um, right at the heart of it.
Great, love it. So yeah, Captain, you have a oh yeah, and it's, oh no, we're just describing the sacred space here, not the ritual yet. But the captain, you have a question here to ask me.
Yeah. So, how does my presence disrupt the ritual? But then, why do you want me to participate anyway?
Hmm. I think since the last time you convinced me to join you, I feel like it's almost been a that like I've almost had this vow of like seclusion. Like, I've almost separated myself off from the rest of the conversation. And having you here is like a violation of that. But I also feel like if I'm going to act upon the galaxy again through anything, it's going to be through this, well, overly what's the word? Overly self-assured clone. And I ask you, how does the side of me renew your faith? Why is it important I believe in you?
Yeah, I think it is seeing you still resplendently you, as in dedicated to this faith, which by all counts, after all we've been through, that there's probably a good reason for you to like not believe it anymore, but to see you here still practicing is it's beautiful, and um it reaffirms that I was right to come here, even though it's a violation.
Oh
So
yeah, I
like,
also should talk about what my current sleeve is, because I do like when I'm making this ritual to have you take part in it. I have concocted this sleeve, which is an almost like vaguely feminine, but mostly genderless like body. That is like uh the head is just pierced with a dozen arrows through which like blood and a sense of stillness emanates from them.
I always went for the fancier sleeves. I think the only difference from Rosafina's appearance from the previous one is like their outfit is now like the inverse. It was all black, now it's all white. Um, it's like stand out in the void. I think it was their hair. Her hair has like become white. It was black previously. Um, and yeah, well, it's that's these they're not very these kind of fancy sleeves. Why is it important I believe in you? Because that means there's still a chance that I can supersede your faith.
uh but yeah, conducting the ritual. So for the captain, you again get to choose, if you go down to page 23, one of the bold bits of text, and I will choose how it resolves.
Yeah, I think it's a bit. No, there's a bunch of like really tough ones, but be nice. I'm gonna pick one of the softer ones. We stand before an ancient monument built to represent everything I believe in, or that you believe in. It says I believe in.
No, yeah, it's always the I is the one
Oh,
talking
okay.
here.
All right. Okay.
So yeah,
I
what is this like? Is this a belief that what is this monument that represents something you believe in?
yeah, I think it is. I think like this monument is like an ideal of an age ship, kind of like if the conversation, so to speak, actually not an ideal age ship form, but like what what was once believed to be your ideal age ship form. So this is not just anyone. This is like what um is believed to be your ideal form. And I think it is a, just to be vague with the descriptions, I think it is a ship that looks like it can swallow the sun. I don't know what that looks like, but I have to imagine it thus.
I always did think that that we had grander purposes than merely weapons, rather shepherds, shapers, guides, And let me see here. They've healed. Hmm. Yeah, I think that I am going with the first. I describe how my faith healed what you left broken in me. There was a time that you convinced me working with you against my own kind would lead to the future I believed in. You were a liar then. And I realized that if I am going to find the truth, it cannot be in any one entity, AI or human. It can only be in an ideal like this sculpture.
I'm glad you found that truth. I'm glad to see it soothes you.
Hmm.
I think I'm just kind of watching you like look up to this sculpture.
Yeah,
Hard.
I think I'm exactly gonna cut hard here because I've expressed my disappointment in you. The ritual demands sacrifice, Captain Blooming. Which are you picking?
Yeah, this is important. So I sacrificed what was once most important to me to prove how much I still love you. And I think, ooh, what is this sacrifice? I think like just to prove how important this mission is going to be, I'll offer up to this flower corpse my original genetic code so that if I am to return, it is going to be in a diminished form. It will not exactly be the same.
Oh yeah, and I think this is sort of the thing that like is one of the things that makes us kind of vaguely hierarchical among the AI, because I take this information and I just burn it. Like I make it so that it never existed, almost. Because that's like, what is the point of us gathering all this information simply to gather information? It doesn't bring us closer to understanding. It just brings us closer to knowing.
Yeah, I think I want you like burn it. Again, I give you kind of like that same kind of like soft smile that I gave to EL and say, it seems some of you finally gets what you wish for. The last of Rosafina Blooming. I hope to see you till the end. Oh, go ahead.
You are the last of Rosafina Blooming, and I will have all of it. And yeah, I think that's the line we end on.
Hell yeah.
So let us draw some cards here.
Oh, we have to do ending the ritual first.
Oh yeah, ending the ritual. Yes, there's that. Thank you. So yeah, I think you have another question directed to me. Yeah.
Okay. The captain asked the bound, what will make you break your vows?
Mm. I think if someone could convince me that there is no point to existence, because that's what Mother Rent is all about, trying to find that. And if you could convince her that, you know, that search is just as pointless as the accumulation of knowledge, then like, what's the point of like saying I'm not going to just blow up a planet? And I ask you, why will you never be as faithful as I?
Because I'm not content with just looking up to God. I want to take their place.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, we're going there. I was like, yeah, no, let's just keep going. Because last time my captain was nowhere near this terrible, and yet that one crew member still wanted to kill them. So I'm like, no, I'm gonna give them people reasons
Okay.
to kill them.
I'm going to draw a card now, and I drew a 3 of diamonds, unfortunately, which means that, let me jump over here. The enemy grows stronger. The player describes a brief glimpse of the enemy and how it's become more terrifying. This card is then placed face down on the enemy's pile of cards. I think what we see is that, I almost feel like we got this image of the enemy learning to remold their destroyed planet. I think that what we see them remolding it to is a recreation of Mother Rent in her ideal form, the one that we saw a statue of.
Cool. The card I drew, 4 of clubs. So these regained. I'm not a crew member, so I don't get to keep this, I guess. Oh no, I'm a crew member. I keep my hand, right?
Yeah, you're a crew member, but this one
Okay.
basically you describe
Yeah.
how you want to believe in me,
Yeah, I
or
think.
why you want to believe in me.
Yeah, I think I want to because it's I think I want to believe in you. Because of I was gonna say of all the crew members, there's only one other. Um I think I don't feel as if the years have diminished you in a way that they've diminished me. And I want to believe in such strength.
For a second, I thought you were gonna say diminished EL.
No, well, that was also kind of implied. But no, I think the years have also clearly like diminished the captain a bit, even though, like, you know, like I say, they look exactly the same. They've got a cane now. And maybe the eyes are a bit wearier. But yeah, I want to believe in such a faith. It's clearly um it's kept you not like whole, but like, you know, steadfast.
Oh, awesome. So that takes us through our opening recruitment montage. So like I said before, like a lot of Firebrand's games, this Once More Into the Void is structured around a series of mini games. We are playing with the extended speed, which is kind of the most long form play of this, which means that all of us are going to get to basically call for at least 3 mini games before we go on our final mission. During extended speed, a couple mini games I'll draw people's attention to, although probably we won't bring these in at the very start, are What We Built Without You and Only If We Have the Time Captain, which is basically the loyalty mission of a Mass Effect game. It's good to keep an eye on those. Those are some missions that kind of will really shine once you hit your like second or third mini game. But let's take a look here. I'm wondering, so basically the mini games, I can go kind of over them quickly, is just like old times in which we are caught in some kind of battle, and like we two characters reforge some old bonds. Only one shot to make it right, which is a training montage we all participate in. Blowing off steam, 2 or more of us go on a night out partying or blowing off steam in some way. Who do you think you are? There's a confrontation between 2 of us or more of us, I think. The last time we touched, possible intimacy for at least 2 people, but the mini game does specify as many people can take part in the scene as you want. What We Once Were, 2 characters share a flashback with each other. I Never Did Trust You, where we reveal a possible betrayal. What We Built Without You, it's basically looking at what one of us accomplished during our time apart as a crew. There's the loyalty mission one I brought up. There is Before We Lose It All, which is like the enemy actually like attacks us. That's again another one that might be better like for a second or third mini game rather than to open things out, because it's sort of like the enemy ramping up its antagonism towards us. And then there's Once More Into the Void, which is the final mission, and we'll only do that mini game at the very end. So I personally had a thought. I wanted to see something. I don't think it works as a very first mini game after our recruitment scene, but I did want to do a flashback with EL at some point just to flesh out our relationship. But I'm wondering, EL, Captain Blooming, do either of you have a mini game that you were drawn to?
Just I think kind of just like old times. Just want to see like bit of action, I guess.
Yeah, get a bit of action after our scene with the bound. Who do you want to? Let's see. I think in this one, let me bring it in here.
Yeah.
Here we go. Is a mini game for 2 crew members who are pinned down and fighting against the enemy. When you choose this mini game, you choose another character to be in the scene with you. Which of us would you like to be in the scene with you, Captain Blooming?
The thing with three players is we're gonna double up, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
And in fact, the third player in this mini game will actually have a significant role. They're basically the GM, you could say.
I conduct the
Yeah.
battle.
Okay. Yeah, I think because we did CEL in and Captain Blooming in a fighty kind of like a situation. Let's go ahead, Mother Rent.
Yeah.
See what they're like in combat, I guess.
Yeah. So someone who fought by your side. So then the other players, so it says like whenever we'll get into some of the wording here because I think some of the wording here is intended for like 4 or more people, but I think we might maybe change around a little bit of this wording here. But playing this mini game, okay, so this is you can go ahead and ask me. Just to make this more obvious to Maria and our audience.
Yeah, so I asked my chosen partner why. So I ask you why you need to impress each other so badly. Why I need.
Yeah, why we both need to.
Yeah.
Like this is each other.
Yeah.
I almost feel like there's this whole like matter between us of like I feel like we both kind of indirectly made claims about our own strength and power to each other. And it's like a matter of like we need to show each other that we need to prove to each other that there is no weakness in us, that we're both powerful.
Yeah. I think like maybe we both in in our previous run felt like the other was weak. You're running back to your faith. I'm running away, so to speak.
Yeah.
Not figured out exactly the reasons for why everything fell apart, but yeah, I think there's a sign of there's a sense of like we need to prove ourselves we have to prove to each other that we still got it. But there's yeah. So I'm gonna ask you how the enemy got the drop on you, which is us, I guess, and why there won't be any backup for a while. So why are we pinned down? What's going on?
I think given what we were talking about, I feel like this was actually like, so just to kind of tie in like that we are kind of more the space criminals, because I almost feel like it's maybe a mix of the second and third that we were seeking out like a yeah, I think actually we were maybe like seeking out a contact that we had among the AI. And I think it's even that like, because of course, if there's anyone who is going to be safe to go to, it would be the AIs, but maybe this AI has already been like subverted and consumed by the nanites. Like that was like we just believe like, nah, there's no way they could come for us here. But of course, that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, like the planet's still far away, but like it's like a very advanced scout. It throws up questions of like, well, is it an advanced scout or is it like a sleeper agent or so?
Yeah, and I almost imagine that like we are actually like fighting our way from out of like the ship body of this AI.
Gosh.
If that works for you.
Yeah, no, I really like it. Can the AI or the ship have like a theme, just so like or like an aesthetical theme, just so it's in my head?
Yeah.
Like what kind of environment we're running through?
Oh. Do you think it's like a let's say like it's a super Art Deco, and I think like it's almost has all these like it almost like collect like there's some kind of idiosyncratic things among the AI, but this AI's idiosyncratic thing is that it collects like vinyl records, like actual physical vinyl records that it had on its ship. Because it's a hipster AI, I guess.
Yeah, it's a jazzy kind of AI.
Yeah.
God, and the music is playing as we're running
Yes.
through this Art Deco cityscape. I'm just imagining Transistor, and the video game. Cool. So what has changed about us since we last saw them, which was just which is a scene ago. So I don't know much has changed.
Yeah. I think that what I will describe is that the internal glow of Mother Rent is weakened because I have separated myself from my aid ship body to come with you on this mission.
I think like in between scenes, Blooming goes into their character editor and changes out the haircut. Um, I think this one is like I was imagining in the previous one, like the hair was like wild and kind of like unkempt going out. I think this time it's more of like a kind of like a ponytail. It's like goes around on their shoulder. Um, you can tell like the hair is like shorter. So again, not as crazy, not as wild as like sleeves you've got, but you gotta change it up. And they've gone back to like black clothing instead of white.
Cool.
The other players conduct the flow of this mini game, which means Maria. You take turns leading the crew members in their battle against enemies. So Maria, on your turn, you choose one. You tell a crew member to choose a challenge, or you tell a crew member to choose a vulnerability.
Yeah, and I will say here, because it says when everyone's had a turn, we end the game. I will say that it's not in this case, because Maria is the only one that would have a turn here.
One turn.
Yeah, I would say when both I and you, Leandro, have had a turn, then we'll end the mini game.
Okay.
Yeah. So make it impressive. So you can choose the end. Just saying. Yeah. Let's see. I think for this first part of this scene, this mini game, I want to see Rent choosing a challenge.
Okay. I think it's it is actually the, like, I'm gonna go with, I recognize someone helping the enemy, a traitor who was once a part of the crew. They know exactly what to say to get under our skin. God, I'm just thinking, I think this is like an AI with a sillier name. I think it's like Brother Teleconference or something. Like this is the ship that we were on, so the contact we had come to. And I think it's like almost like he's almost like opening with like being like apologetic, but like turning this into that, like, you know, I've realized at this point that like being a servant of like of a power of something of true power is better than being an ally of criminals and rabble rousers such as yourselves. And I'm gonna draw a card here. Let's see what I get. Oh, I got an ace, so that's gonna go into our enemy pile. And let's see what I do here. They play me easily, and I give away a critical secret. The traitor gets away. This card goes into the enemy pile. I think that, I think that, yeah, I'm actually not going to go teleconference. We'll go telecommunication. Teleconference is just a little bit too silly for this recurring character. Telecoms, that's it. I think that I just shut down, and I am like, you were always the weakest link among us, brother. I'm sorry that I have to do this, but this is only the least of the weapons I still have available to me. And I think that you feel like, Captain, the impact of like warheads against the frame of this ship. And like I am trying to fire all along this ship's like where I'd expect the ship's AI to be located. But I think telecoms has already like managed to beam his intelligence into the conversation and escape my attack. And I think the secret I'm revealing here is that I don't think it was common knowledge among the AIs that Mother Wren totally had a bunch of her old weapons, because she's just sort of refused to use them.
Yeah, I think like when like the din settles all the warheads, I think you can feel like the captain's like gaze on like your back. And I think Rosafina will just like say, next time you don't need to let a dog like that play you like that. Yeah, we'll keep. I think we before you can say anything, we get interrupted by Art
I
Deco
think that
drones.
this is and I think they're like Art Deco drones that clearly like have these like rents and cracks. Like they're not mouths, but they practically are cracked open a little bit, almost like they could be mouths or orifices where we see the like nanite infection of the ship.
Yeah, and your ship is also now falling apart a little bit because you did just hit it with a whole bunch of warheads.
Well, you know, sometimes you have to destroy the ship you're standing on to spite your face.
Yeah, sometimes. You know, I think that the captain should choose a vulnerability.
Yeah. I think ooh. Oh, these are fun. Oh, wow. Okay. I have to choose before I draw. Um especially for the captain, Jeebus. Um okay. I think the enemy gives it their all and unleashes their secret weapon. Given that Mother Red has kind of revealed that they're willing to like use their ship weapons once more, the enemy has to respond. And I think their secret weapon is that they are going to respond in kind. I think these Art Deco drones with like the weird gaping mouths kind of like start colliding into each other, and you can see like the nano forms kind of start colliding and just like stitching themselves. And I think they're stitching themselves into one of Mother Rent's like older forms. Um, um, what's the one that like fits most this aesthetic? I guess I'll ask Steven. What's like another form that like fit the space?
Hmm. Oh, I think it's like almost like, we talked about the genderless body. I think it's the almost like the three human bodies like fused together at the hips, and each of them has like this heavily like stylized cannon that is like stylized like they're shooting arrows.
Yeah, I know exactly how to disarm it. I think like Captain Blooming would just kind of like use their cane to like basically tell Mother Red to step aside. Um, I think like the way it used to work in our crew, which I'm imagining you used to have probably have more members than just the two of us. But
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
as we've revealed now, Brother Telecoms was also once a part of our crew.
God, yeah, which playbook would he have been? I think like so when we had like more members, like Captain the way Captain Moving participated was like they're definitely the commander. They are at the back. They give commands. They kind of like see the battlefield or the they see better than anyone else, which is wild. Obviously, unbeknownst to most folks, she has nano machines to help with that. Um, and I think the way that when she's caught in a fight, she has these things that I'm gonna steal from Gundam called funnels, which are kind of like these like thin, kind of like tubular kind of like drones that shoot out lasers. And the main thing you need is like you need a mind that's good enough to like control them all at once. And so like I think um as this three person form is like forming with arrows, I think like Captain Blooming would just kind of like torque their cane around as if to show that like they're doing something, like they're kind of like moving it on the ground or like just kind of twisting it a bit. And I think like these almost invisible lasers kind of like shoot out and puncture the drones where they're kind of like forming the form, kind of like finding its like weak spots, like where the nanovirus is like weak. And it's hard to like see, but like it looks like it is being smashed by invisible forces. um and um and I think like there's a sense of like Mother Red, it looks like you are being ripped apart by the captain. um in the way that is almost kind of clinical and something I don't think Captain Bloom has ever demonstrated to you, that she's capable of doing this. So who knows if she's always been capable or she figured this out. But yeah, I think I think I want to contrast like the grandeur of like what the age ships were doing with the big Art Deco stuff and the weird stuff, and just kind of like the captain being
Yeah.
like this human figure that is, but it's just somehow dismantling this form with ease. So why do you suspect the worst of me?
Oh, okay. Hmm. I think that all this would have taken time and research to know exactly how to do this before, like, I think that what I suspect is that you have been spending a lot of time figuring out exactly how to kill me.
I think after I do this mad thing, I kind of like just turn back to you and kind of give you this look. But I think in the visual media, I'm definitely like silhouetted by the halo of the nano form that was you being destroyed. And again, it's that soft kind of like smile that is that's just how Captain Blooming smiles, I guess. It's always the same kind of smile.
Fantastic. So you've both gone. The crew member who went the furthest to impress us chooses an end. Is that us, me, or the entire table?
Let's see. I think the one that went the furthest to impress the other, because it's why we need to impress each other so badly.
Okay.
I mean,
who went the
I'd say it's
furthest?
maybe like a group though can figure out. I would maybe give a throw over to Captain Blooming. I feel like Captain
Yeah.
Blooming.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. You get to choose how this ends, Captain Blooming, if you go to the endings that are down there.
Yeah, I think we win, but just barely because it's Brother Telecoms, right?
Yeah, the enemy
Um,
gets away and takes something important and irreplaceable. What is it, Captain Blooming?
ooh. Um, I think maybe my instead of something concrete, my mind went to something a bit more nebulous, like knowledge and the edge of that, because I think both Captain Blooming and Mother Wren showed off more of their hand than they probably should have.
Yeah,
Like
I'm
how,
also
yeah,
like wondering because Brother Telecoms got away. I'm
mm,
wondering if because we were going to meet them for a reason.
yeah,
I'm wondering if it's that Brother Telecoms had like he was our one for breaking the like security protocols of the conversation. That is what's got away. Like
yeah,
that knowledge.
we're suddenly like more open, and suddenly I think Captain Bloom is like, well, okay, maybe it's good we didn't recruit anymore. We're just gonna keep it to these to these two. Because now there's a feeling of being compromised. So I think, yeah, we find our way out the H ship just like barely after that, and don't come up with much other than the feeling of betrayal in many different layers. Cool. So at the end of this mini game, the two crew members involved in the battle each draw a card face up. I'm gonna go first.
Sure.
I drew a red card, the 10 of
Yeah.
hearts. The enemy
Not doing
grows
well at this drawing thing.
No. Well, no, I drew on. Okay. How many?
We've drawn one black so far,
Eh,
I think. Oh no, we've drawn like
I
see,
also
like a
drew a
black and a
black
red
card.
each.
two
Yeah.
blacks. There we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. I think all of us have a black card in our hands.
I don't.
You don't? Oh,
No,
no.
because I don't trust you. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. The enemy grows stronger. The player describes a brief glimpse of the enemy and how they become more terrifying. The card is then placed face down on the enemy's pile of cards. I think we see Brother Telecoms arriving at like a kind of like abandoned moon. And I think like their ship kind of like hovers over the moon, and there's like this small little kind of like missile shot out of Brother Telecom, and it lands on the moon. And I think like the missile kind of starts to unfurl into like a tree, and once it's become like fully a tree, the roots sink in, and the moon starts to become converted. Um, and I think like yeah, I think the planet is gonna start to amass a fleet. It can't just be ships though. It has to be other celestial bodies.
Great. Awesome. And let me draw mine. Let's see what happens here. And it's another 9. I also think that like we almost see as we are kind of viewing the kind of representation of the conversation visually that Brother Telecoms has given away that knowledge to them, like his expertise in that. And we begin to see that the conversation is now being infiltrated by them, being suborned to their purposes.
Cool. I mean,
Yep.
it's kind of fitting that there's no loyalty regained from this mini game.
Yeah, we were both really terrible people in this.
Yeah. Secrets are clearly being kept. It's not great.
Reveal to control the conversation. Okay. So yeah, kind of continuing from that, I'm wondering, I think we have time for one more mini game. Maria, Yel, did you still want to try to do a flashback
Yeah,
with
let's do that.
yeah, with me? So yeah, let me go to, let's see, where is the flashback mini game?
Page 42.
Right, 42. So I'm the one pitching it. So usually they have something that asks me to ask your chosen partner. So let me kind of pitch what this is as a mini game for 2 more crew members who experience a flashback, a direct look at the past that may hurt or strengthen us. This is a reflective and insightful time. So yeah, I'm choosing you. And what moment triggered this flashback? That is a question I'm supposed to address to you.
Right. I kind of think it's the like it's like after you and the captain come back from this sort of like mission that you did to meet up with the contact. I think that maybe I oh, okay. Do you think that like maybe coming back, do you like the Brother Telecom has had like on this ship or whatever ship we had that there was something of Brother Telecom's left over, and maybe you're looking at that after, or like maybe it's out
Oh,
on the table like after you've come back, because now
yeah,
they're an
it's
enemy.
we're definitely listening to a record that that Brother
Yeah.
Telecom's left on this ship once.
Yeah. And like maybe I like started playing it not knowing what was going on, because like maybe I stayed on board this ship because
Hmm.
I do like research and like upkeep of mechanical stuff. Um and we also need a getaway driver, but like maybe I was like, yeah, Brother Telecoms is going to come back on board. I'm going to put this record on so they feel like, welcomed back to the crew or have this connection. But maybe just like seeing
What
you
kind of
come back.
mood do you think this music has?
Oh, I think it's bluesy. I think it's,
Okay.
smoky jazz bar,
Hmm.
like sort of melancholy, sort of,
Yeah,
yeah.
cool. I think what has changed about me is that you can just feel the anger emanating off of me since the last scene. And what has changed about you since we last saw your character?
Hmm. I think that I have settled into my role on board this ship. I think that I seem more put together, at least. Like, at least for now, I am in control of my location. And this is a closed space where I cannot be hunted because we're on a ship that's going somewhere instead of on a ship that's running away. So, like, I look less grimy, less like I just jumped out of somewhere and ran away.
Great. And which of us do you think fears the past the most?
Um, I sort of fear, I don't know, I'm afraid of the people that are hunting me that are from my past. So I also feel like I am human
Yeah.
and much less
I
uh
feel like, yeah, Mother Rent has regrets and anger about the past. I don't know if she fears it.
okay. All right. So on your turn, choose if you relive a memory of pain or a memory of strength.
Yeah. And you
Hmm.
ask the other player to bring the memory to life with you, and they answer freely.
Hmm. I think I'm going to pick that I am reliving a memory of strength for this one.
Okay.
Um, hmm. I think that maybe you were there when I was at my strongest, when I shone the brightest among all other stars. Like, I think this is a memory of when EL was at the peak of like their being productive. They had the answers that people needed. They uh, were like a valuable crew member um, without any care about, well, with less care about the people that were chasing them. So, what did I say or do to help you find your shine next to me?
I think it was that I saw the genius in UEL that time. I saw what you were capable of, and I wanted to nurture it. I wanted to water and feed it like you would a beautiful hothouse flower. You know that it's fated to die, but when it's alive, it makes the world around it greater, more perfect. I think, were you comfortable with that attention from me, or did that make you uncomfortable?
Oh, I think
Because like it's a mix of like respecting you, but also kind
yeah.
of a sort of patronizing edge as well. Like, well, I'm the immortal here, and I'm kind of tending you as this beautiful thing.
No, I think I don't know if comfort necessarily is the word, but I almost like treasured it. Like, oh, the AI who is so capable is more powerful than I could ever be, is like finds my knowledge, like they're trying to nurture it. I think yeah, I think I was like proud of it, proud of what I was doing next to you.
Mm,
And I think like maybe the reason that this is a flashback that's happening uh as we're listening to like this bluesy music is that like maybe this peak when I was at my strongest or whatever is like when we as a crew we had a full crew. We had like
yeah.
downtime to listen to jazz. Like this was at the shining moment of our lives as space criminals. Like
Mm, yeah. And I think I want to feed into that with like our time together, because we sketch out this really lovely relationship, and I want to go to a memory of pain. Together we made a promise, and together we broke it. How has that promise haunted us all these years?
do you have an idea of what this promise was?
I mean, yeah, I'm inviting you to sketch this out, just to expand this out.
Oh, what if this promise was that like together you and I would undo the like eons of like mystery surrounding the origins of like all those technological mysteries, like together you and I would work to unite the um unite our mental powers, something like
Mm-hmm.
that. And they like kind of it's kind of an idealistic sort of promise.
Yeah,
Like
I almost love the idea that the thing that made both of us break it was that moment when the captain hurt both of us.
yeah.
Like the thing that tore us apart was like we were both hurt by the captain, and we just couldn't trust each other after that.
Yeah. And I think like it maybe it just also has to do with like the captain is a clone. The captain came out of that vast pool of knowledge. And I think that maybe over the years we've been haunted by um
I almost feel like both of us have kind of selected like solitariness almost.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I would like to be
Like rather than
solitary.
connect with each other
Yeah.
or someone else after it.
We've worked separately instead of together.
Yeah.
whatever our own personal quests have been, we haven't been collaborating. We haven't been.
Mm-hmm.
We decided the captain left. We're not a crew anymore. None of these promises matter.
Mm-hmm. I actually think I'm cool with ending this scene here if that works
Yeah.
for you, unless you wanted to push another moment.
No,
I'm also looking at the
good.
time, so I think
Yeah.
I kind of want to wrap up here.
Yeah.
So when everyone's had a turn, we decide if we wish to unearth another memory. And when you're ready to let go of the past, the one who revealed the most during the flashback chooses a revelation. Which of us do you think revealed the most about our past?
I think maybe that was you, because I think like you revealed a lot of how you felt
Mm-hmm.
about our relationship, especially with like wanting to nurture and like a hothouse flower, um, this human, if that works.
Mm. I think I want to go, Yeah, this feels like kind of something that might hurt or change things. It seems like memories are frozen in time, but they suddenly crack under the pressure of the present. We both reveal something that changes the context of our memories. I think that I look at you at the end as the music plays down. You were always our hothouse flower, EL. From the moment you were born, Brother Telecoms and I have guided your life so that you would become the woman you are today. I'm sorry for walking away from you. If that's cool with you, EL.
That's fine. Wow. Yeah. I think, just like breaks out of her 1,000-yard stare at that. And I think like sputters a bit because the thing that she was going to reveal is that in the same way that you have been trying, like, I think that she's going to reveal that her time away, she's spent trying to re-engineer the origins of the AI to sort of, in a way, take you apart and take apart where you and Brother Telecoms came from. So the fact that you reveal that you are responsible for the trajectory of her life is a big revelation.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that let's draw our cards here. At the end of this mini game, the two crew members involved in the flashback each draw a card face up. Would you like to go first?
Yeah, I will draw my card. It is a red card.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. Great. Fantastic. All right. So, glimpse of the enemy and how they become more terrifying. Ooh. I think I think the way the enemy becomes more terrifying is that they are even closer than we know that they are. I think like we see EL's console in their quarters. They have their notes that they've taken. They have a lot of like files scrolling through, and I think like there is a little blinking like red cursor that appears on the screen. And as we watch, like it just starts to take over more and more of the screen until the whole screen is just like it's just a red screen. There's nothing there. But I think like possibly, if it's okay, we have a little bit of the enemy on our ship.
Yeah. Cool. And I think I got a black card, so I actually gain some loyalty here in a fellow crew member. I am choosing to not to keep the card because I have an idea here. I think that I think your revelation actually is wonderful to me, EL. I don't say it, but this is what happens when you allow when you try to not treat something as a manicured garden, because I left you, I abandoned you, and you became something even greater than I thought you could be. You're exploring something I did not think you could be capable of doing on your own.
Are you keeping the card?
Yeah,
or-
I'm keeping the card.
Okay.
Because I don't think I say this. Like, I don't think
Mhm.
this is like a moment where like we could become closer here.
Yeah.
'Cause this is definitely not like
We're
this
not,
is definitely
no.
yeah. I think this is more like my belief about
Mhm.
you and about humanity has changed here as a result of this loyalty gain. So yeah, that wraps us up for the evening on that mini game. I had a lot of fun this evening. I'm gonna take us off air now to maybe next time we'll actually have reason to trust each other. Who knows? But
Wait,
probably
that's
not.
a thing? Is there,
Yeah.
is that possible?
Yeah. But until next time, I'll be seeing y'all.